Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back, Crypto Breakfast Club. We're back live, coming at you live from Lake Tahoe. So 6:30 right here on the West Coast, but we're up and at it, guys. Appreciate everybody. Hopefully, you had a good weekend. And yeah, market's been kind of quiet, been kind of choppy, not much really going. But yeah, here to talk about it. Zach, do any trading this weekend, man? What's happening? Dave Portnoy, did you get into the Dave Portnoy jail stool or whatever? This is what Hey, you know what, Zach? This is what happens when Bitcoin gets a little bit boring. This is what happens when you get a little sideways movement, and all coins start trending sideways. You get this crazy wave of meme coin shit. And I mean, hey, if you can make a buck at it, go for it, right? I mean, just tread lightly, know what you're doing. I mean, don't go all in. Thank you so much. Don't go all in. Can I have two straws, please? Thank you. Chiefs took a good old-fashioned ass whooping yesterday. Yep. No, honestly, it's fun. I mean, I didn't go anything crazy. It's the same thing as meme coins, man. I didn't invest what I was willing not to lose, right? I mean, it's the same. Literally, it's the same thing. Um, oh, that's cool, man. Paid, what's happening, bro?
Yo, guys, I'm in Tangier. Well, GM, Zach, and good morning to everyone else. I'm in Tangier right now. I'm at a nice little cafe. So if you hear some music while I'm speaking today, that's why. I'm with my mom. We're in Tangier. Mutasco, wish you were here, brother. I mean, I wish everyone was here, but Mutasco specifically because he likes his country. But Zach, as a person from Philadelphia, pretty happy with the Eagles. Not gonna lie. As a person who lived there a good chunk of my life, pretty happy. Um, what's funny is last night I got into that Eagles token, Zach, from Subway. I got my initials out, right? And then I fell asleep, and then my profit was down 90%. So I made literally like $2. I got tired, bro. Listen, the game started at midnight, like for me. So like I was tired. Like by the time that it was over in a halftime show, it was already like 3:34 a.m. I was like, dude, I fell asleep at like probably like 3 a.m., 3:30 or whatever. I woke up, that shit was $2. I said, okay, whatever. Whatever. I made $2. But no, I'm chilling. I don't really got much, shout out to Bitcoin and Base, shout out to Paul Chain and our long-term sponsors and some more sponsors that we have coming up. We do have Solbay here again on Thursday, and then there's a handful of other ones I can't think of off the top of my head right now, but they're not coming up today specifically, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so I don't really have much other than that. But Zach, how you feeling? You sound tired.
Yeah, a little bit. It's hard to get sleep when you're still on like the different time period. And we've been staying up a little bit, but it's been good. Tahoe's amazing. This time of year, the lake doesn't freeze over, so it's beautiful out here, man. It's humbling. You got the mountains, big bodies of water, makes you feel like a little peon, like you don't matter. Sometimes you need that in crypto, After coming off like a meme coin win, you know what I mean? You got to get humbled a little bit. Either get rug pulled or go to Lake Tahoe. You got two options, bro.
You can go rug
you could get rug pulled, or you can let nature slap you around a little bit.
Yo, someone clip that, please. That's actually really
funny. Larry, what's up, man?
Oh, you brought up the operative word, rug pulled. Been getting rug pulled fairly regularly by IMF, World Bank, and just the powers that be until we get through this adjustment period. But that's all it is, an adjustment period. Going to be in consensus next week. I wish you were there with me, Zach and Paid, Moore, Matasco, Rude. Rude told me he's going to come. So if you do, I got your passes ready. So it's all good. And yeah, I'm going to be doing some talks there, and we'll cut some live B-roll footage. Maybe I get Zach on an interview, via video from Consensus there. Have some big meetings set up with Solana Foundation, with Ethereum and the regulars, But I will be giving some alpha and some exclusive here on Crypto Breakfast Club. And look forward to seeing Rude there. Rude, are you coming? Is he mic'd up right now?
He doesn't have a mic right now, but he's got one if he wants one.
For sure, man. But speaking of Kendrick Lamar, he's all right. Yeah, he's bringing the West Coast together. You know, the blue and the red. I can respect that, and putting you know, L.A., Long Beach, Pacoima, all those places together. People are getting more peaceful behind the music, which is good. But man, how about that Grand National? I can't believe you stood on the hood of that Grand National. That man, I used to have one of those cars, man. Fuck that. Excuse my
That,
language.
that was pretty dope, actually.
It was hard for me to watch him standing on the hood, though, Zach, because that car, you know, you already know what's up with that. If you know what a Grand National is, you know what it is, especially a GNX.
Dude, they have some of the best engines to swap in the game ever.
Well, Buick Regal turbos and GNX, I had both. So I had a Regal turbo and a Grand National before. And I did not get rug pulled on the Grand National. I made a good amount of money on that, but I had it for a while. Had a 442 as well. So, I mean, I'm not just into Hondas. I like old, you know, G-body, GM. And I missed that era, you know, the G-body cars, even the Camaros. I had a, you know, like a 92 Camaro 5-speed, pretty rare last year of that body. Well, actually, it was 91 and a half, but it was a 92. And on those IROCs, man, on that green, hard to beat that, man. That was an era, man, when real cars were made in America. And you could get a small, you know, 350 or 305 or whatever. And
dude, I had an 86 Trans Am, dude, all white T-tops. Oh, that car!
That's a good car too.
To move overseas. I sold it to move overseas, but that shit was that. Of course, the T-top
easy to work on.
Classic.
Easy to work, man. T-tops and some IROCs on that, man. That was the move, man. You know, or on some rally sports, either one. I just miss those cars, man. There's nothing like that where I'm at in China right now, but back home, please believe. I've had Mustangs too. I like Mustangs a lot too. I like Fox bodies. So, I mean, speaking of Kendrick, man, you know, you watch the old Menace to Society. You saw the G body, you know, Fox body. In the G body cars, man, that was an error. That's where I grew up in, man. So I like you know, I like the old Fox body 5 liters. But yeah, that's off tangent, off topic too. But man, if we ever get out of this extended adjustment period, I probably will get another one, either a Fox body or like a G body, you know, Buick or a Cutlass or something like that, Olds or Buick. Got to get one, man. I'm not too much into the Monte Carlos because they didn't have the zestier engines really, but the GNX though, yeah, you can't go wrong with that Buick Grand National, man, or the Olds, any of the Cutlasses. You like those cars, Zach?
I'm not super into cars, but I get it, man. I get why people are, for sure. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, this is not my forte. But
For sure.
yeah. But in terms of the market, I mean, Tal's up a little bit. Tal's up 10+% right now. Bouncing pretty nice. A couple other things up, kind of near double digits. Stacks is up a little bit. How about
Yep.
Stacks? Stacks is down to 97 cents, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good get still. I mean,
Undervalued.
undervalued, man. All
Critically
time high.
undervalued.
All time high was just last year, in April, 10 months ago, on Stacks. 75% down from its all time high. Got up to what, 384. I'm looking at it now. Sitting there at 97 cents. I mean, that's another really interesting play. I mean, guys, that's DeFi on Bitcoin. That's the biggest player when it comes to DeFi on Bitcoin. So, I mean, you know, there's so many different directions you can go, but that's one I've kind of, I don't want to say forgotten about a little bit, but yeah, kind of got lost in the shuffle.
Man,
that's a good get right there.
Hash AI is criminally undervalued right now. I mean, it's a huge discount, and they haven't even released a main utility yet. The
whole AI sector,
space.
Larry, got whole AI sector got slaughtered.
Yeah, it's heavily discounted right now. It's the time to move in. But the one thing,
same with gaming, guys.
Oh yeah,
gaming got drilled too.
Gaming is brutal.
They might be the most heavily hit, to be honest. While this is happening, though, isn't it amazing, though? You know, I wrote that article on, you know, the certified reporting from Tether. Tether $141.7 billion in profit, second highest locked TVL on all of DeFi as a stable. That's telling, even with all these naysayers, right? And I'm gonna break down some more metrics because people always try to, like I get a million questions a day on USDC versus USDT, and people trying to tell me that USDT is the better of the two. It's not a better of the two. I'll give you the biggest. They have a monthly audit by Deloitte where they're dollar to dollar on assets. And so for transparency, yeah, maybe it's okay. It's good. But Tether is 80% because 25% is invested, their treasury is invested in high risk or in high yield plays, right? But it's still 80%. But if you look at overlapping volume and users, it wouldn't matter anyways, because 80% is guaranteed regardless of the 25% of their treasury, 20 to 25%, depending on the time of the year. But yeah, that report is pretty relevant right now because you would never think there's that much liquidity in all of DeFi at any given time, but no, Tether has it. Not just from Bitcoin either.
Two altcoins that are getting down there that this is kind of where they broke out from these levels before. Litecoin, which is up a little bit today. I'll give you another one we haven't talked about in a while, is Uniswap. Uniswap is now 5x away from its all-time high. I mean, Uniswap's down here to $9.
Zach, I was going to mention that after Consensus Hong Kong, no financial advice, but Chainlink and Uniswap's going to pump, bro, because they're going to make the announcements on Unichain. They're going to make their official announcements about Unichain at Consensus, and Chainlink is going to release more information on their new RWA integration tokenization platform. So, man, Chainlink and
I bought Link 3 times in the last week.
Well, you better buy one more time because they're about to make some huge announcements at Consensus and at that Powerhouse side event that I'll be at. I'll be speaking at because I know Defung and a couple other guys from the chain team in China are going to be there meeting up with them. So, bro, no financial advice, but if you want it might not be like a 10x or anything like that, but if you like 2x, 3x for sure money, just saying it's probably going to be a good look. So yeah, I mean,
I like it.
Yep, and one more. Oh, what was the other one? Ondo again will be making another announcement in 2.5 weeks. They're going to have some consensus on the direction that they're going with. Well, I better not say it, but yeah, Ondo will be a pretty fair play to slowly DCA into probably for the next couple weeks before they make their announcement.
They've been just that chart just looks like it's just waiting to explode.
Bro, in the next 2 weeks when they make their announcement on their strategic decisions, and they didn't really give us the whole spiel that they were supposed to when David Sachs gave that talk, right? We just had some inklings in and out, but the actual direction and the consolidation of the policy is going to be, I think, announced in the next 2 weeks and 3 days is what my indicators have been, So just saying it's a good slow DCA. If you like to make 1 or 2x, it's still like basically, I'm not no financial advice, but it's better than a bank, So while we have all these people complaining, there's nothing wrong with a spread of good 2 to 3x's, and like everyone says here, what's your risk tolerance if you couldn't lose it, or you couldn't just set it in and be okay to have it even money rather than losing money, then what's wrong with that, And I think that's one of the biggest problems.
Larry, what's your timeline on that?
2 weeks and 3 days to 5 days max. Yeah, they're gonna make a big announcement. You saw that Ethereum Club or Ethereum Foundation verified all of the announcements I made on all the EIPs to reduce gas and the speed of transactions. Vitalik verified all of those on Petra himself, and I released some of those tidbits here. And Ethereum, like I said, people are sleeping on Ethereum because, yeah, it's not giving you the pump value yet, but just wait, man. I will put it to you this, and you guys know I'm an XRP maxi like most of us in here, but it's going to pump faster. See, that's what I don't get. people complained about XRP, but the XRP army supported it and watched it go from 30 cents to almost $3.60, and now it's down to two something, right? It's better than what we had, right? And that was in a shorter period of time. We have Ethereum, which is, peaked at 4K. Yeah, it's rescinded a little bit, but bro, it's always provided, and this is a little bit longer of a time, but the expectations have been artificially, increased by the pace of Bitcoin and these other commodities. But you can't compare that's what I'm going to break down to you later on, is you can't compare the two commodities at pace, and actually how much of the volume of the market it still holds. You can't make those comparisons like that without being, like
Last
being a
year,
fair time.
last year in February, the market, global crypto market cap increased by 40% in February,
Yep.
last February. So, I mean, we'll see what happens this year. Back in 2023, it actually grew 3%. And in the bear market in 2022, it was pretty flat. And then in 2021, it grew 40%. So, I mean,
Well,
we'll see. We'll see kind of how this plays out. I mean, it's been a slow start for sure.
for adaptation, though, we're still on pace for 10% by the end of by the end of 2025, though, Zach. And we got up to 7% in 6 months, though. It took 10 years to get 5%.
Yo,
Metrics
real quick.
are-
Wait, real quick, guys. Do you think, and then we can get to Mar also because he has his hand up. But do you guys think that this cycle is going to get extended a little bit, or do you think it's going to stay about where we're at right now?
They need it, man. They need it for the trailing liquidity. Paid. All of these new financial instruments and products that are coming out from the banks, they can't do it without us. You can call it planned DCA liquidity for the 1%. Unfortunately, in order for us to operate this mechanism, we have to be the DCO or exit liquidity at some point in retail, and we've seen that over and over again lately. It's just something we have to take because we have more assets. We can't say the volume and liquidity is not here because we know that it's increased tenfold. And we have 8 prime commodities instead of 4, like last bull run. But beyond that, we saw the recovery, and the last mega dump was the biggest dump we've had in all time, and it was just like it was another day. We have that spread of 20 to 50% liquidity drop. Now I used to say 10 to 30%, but now it's 20 to 50%, and then we get back within 10%. So, in the essence of a lot of tokenomics, it's the biggest crowdfunding scheme. Most tokens are, but I mean, it's just, it can be responsible and it can be sustainable. And that is the main metric I think most of the centralized banks are looking at while using, technology and the blockchain as a financial instrument, or the versatile vehicle for moving of assets. But yep, it's gonna be extended because the ETFs and all of this money being spent for all these new payment rails and layer 0 and interoperability, it has to get paid for eventually, and it's going to be adapted. So definitely going to extend for sure. Paid.
Awesome. Oh, I was about to get to Mar, and Mar just dropped down. But we'll get to Matt right now and get to Andy. Andy has his hand up, and then Mar, when you get back up, let us know. Mutasco. Also, guys, feel free to come up and get on the mic. It's kind of a chiller day. Zach's a little tired. I'm in a cafe. You're hearing the soothing sounds of the guitar and Tangier. Guys, I'm buying property in Tangier. I don't give a fuck. I'm letting y'all know right now. Feel free to DM me because I think real estate. Listen, Zach, we talked about this before about you go somewhere and they're just building and building and building. Zach, you can ask my mom. My mom's sitting right next to me. There's at least like 25 cranes all over Tangier building not skyscrapers, like condos and condominiums right now. Yeah, something's happening here. Plus, the World Cup is coming, Zach, in 2030. This place is about to be a money print machine for at least a couple of years.
China is 70% of the investment in 10 years right now, and much of Africa, because they are really into doing infrastructure and, so the Belt and Road Initiative and also BRICS. In 10 years, I mean, just like lots of sub-Saharan Africa has, benefited. It's arguable. People are going to always talk about political influence and ideology, but in real life, like people that lived there. Not all, but many are happy with the improvements, you know. So good way to invest too. You don't have to be a certified investor to do that, by the way.
Yeah,
Shout
I mean,
out.
the other thing is, before we get to Matt, the other thing is you can get a brand new apartment, and I mean brand fucking new. Like, they just built it, everything's painted new, marble floors and everything for like 25, 30 grand. Look it up. Go on Google, just look. It's fucking insane. And I'm just like, when this market heats up and really gets going, I'm buying at least 5 of them. I don't care. I won't figure it out. I don't care if I got to sell a kidney. Yeah, we got to make it happen because there's something's brewing here. There's no reason this many. They're building almost as much as they're building in Boston. And Zach from Subway knows they're always building in Boston. It never ends. They make new land all the time in Boston just to build. It's crazy. Zach, talk about it, and then we'll get the map.
Bro, 1,000,000%, Zach. This is the bottom for sure. I mean, it might get 10 or 20% lower, but you just have to look at the like the mean average of all the support levels on all 8 of the main commodities. We're 10% from being at the total bottom. That's not going to say that certain tokens and certain commodities aren't going to have, 30 to 50% volatility spikes. That's to be expected now. And that can be based on social sentiment. That could be based on a dev doing something stupid, or a country, putting moratoriums on specific. That doesn't count. But on average, we're only about 10 to 20% from bottom, with exceptions being like Bitcoin. Obviously, you can't classify, the soil, the foundation. You can't. So
Yo, yo, Zach, let's get the mat real quick once you're done.
hey, Zach, real quick before you go to Matt, right now, technically it's BNB. They had 2 coins, one did 1,000%, 2,000%, bro, out of nowhere. That test token didn't even try, man. They put zero marketing behind it, and just fucking blew up. I was just sitting there looking at it. I said, damn, I wish I'd trade because I had early inklings, but I don't trade, so I didn't get to benefit at all. But BNB is making a big move to come back to North America. And that's the thing. Like, if you have extra liquidity, I'm not saying that if you have lots of extra, that you can DCA into, probably wouldn't be a bad move to buy like 5 or 10, thousand worth of BNB if you have it, because it's going to be a solid hedge against their volatility spikes are totally different because they have their own treasury behind them, and they have, flexible liquidity. They're going to arb other tokens because they're traded on their main exchange to buffer and bolster the movement of BNB. So, BUSD included. That's why they bought so much USDC, not just to be their friends. We saw that when the Solana manipulation happened with Wintermute. They, had to react because of Coinbase and Wintermute. So they're not buying all this USDC to be just friends and family. That's not it. So it's my happy median. Bro, I hope Solana can take care of the congestion issue, because that's something that I have lots of inquiries about. I get tired of answering that, because I don't I don't really, I can't control that. So people are like, can you tell them to do something? No, I can't tell them to do something. The chain just, it needs to be improved some, right? They've always had issues on. It's in Rust, man. Rust is what? I mean, it's been around, but it's 10 years behind in chain development compared to Ethereum, right? You can't compare Ethereum and Solana and Rust. I mean, if you want a perfected Rust platform, go to Jonathan's chain, go to Caspa. You're not going to find that on Sol. But
Well,
Solana,
I mean, you got to remember, Tron countered the Rust theory because of how slow. Remember, Justin Sun tested Rust
yeah,
out, and he said, "Forget this. I'm going to go JavaScript with Python on Tron."
yeah, Python, and if you on now you have so many people pushing on Move and Golang because they're more efficient, but adaptation is the one thing, but like Zach from Subway is right though. The liquidity is there, it's the momentum token right now because it has the right placeholders. But I'm just saying they are. So I did talk to the vice president of Tron, Solana Foundation, and they are making moves on trying to improve so that you don't have 2 days down because of one super token like Trump token, right? So the congestion issue, they're trying to figure it out, but it's not going to get figured overnight. And I think one day, because of the supply containment issue and stuff, I think that Solana will fork one day, like Ethereum did. Ethereum did it for other reasons, but I think Solana is going to have to do it because of network constraints. So when that happens, I mean, that's going to really change the game. That's just my theory because of the latency and, of course, the amount of hosting ability on that chain. So it really, that might be one of the biggest drawbacks. But I hope that Solana does do a fork so they have more capacity, because I think that's the logical answer, both in means of the capacity of the token and the chain itself. So maybe we'll see that. What do you think about that, Will, Rude, and also Zach? Do you think that Solana will try to do that? It helped Ethereum, to be honest. It did from Ethereum Classic, though. What do you think, Rude? Do you think Solana will do that?
As far as what I wasn't catching that. I was listening to an audio bit. I'm sorry. What'd you say again?
I said, do you think that, like Ethereum, they forked from Ethereum Classic to Ethereum as we know now, mainnet, for security reasons mostly. But on Solana, they don't have that much capacity, and also for hosting,
I don't think.
etc.
Well, you have to remember. It's one big contract. So if they try to do anything on the chain, because of the way that they designed it, it'll essentially take it down until they integrate it correctly back up.
Don't you think they'll just fork to a network that can handle the latency and capacity though? Like, because it also
No, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm over there in the foundation, right? Because I bought Solana 3 years ago when it had, or 2 years ago, I think, when it dipped down to like close to $7, right? I loaded up on it, and so then last year I became a validator for them, right? Just so I could get in the foundation. And I went over there, and bro, they take their sweet time. Like, there is no.
I was going to say that
there's no urgency to them.
there is
being
not,
honest with
bro.
you guys. There's
Bro,
zero
there's not.
fucking urgency. At least the Ethereum Foundation gets off their ass
Oh, they build all the time, no matter what.
Exactly. These guys
Yeah.
over there, because it's one big contract and they mesh, they have a meshing system, right? So it's meshing one wallet address with another wallet address to give you a third wallet address with tokens. So I mean,
Yeah,
it's not.
they do run proxy to approximate movement of said asset or commodity. But that's why I said I think they will fork eventually because they can't handle the capacity or the network latency. They just,
Well, it's going to be all what the United States ownership group decides, because I'm, yeah, I'll go there for some volume, but I'm a firm believer that they're going to get exposed, man, because there's too many people behind that chain that are in the shadows that need to come out.
well, I didn't know that you were a validator. That's pretty cool.
Bro, I had more errors on that in 24-hour period than I've ever seen in my life. I've never in my life had a validator where it would hang on, it would get clogged on congestion, or it would just catch an error real quick, and then I have to reset. I would average anywhere from 4 to 8 errors a day. I was like, this is not worth it. I'm not even getting pushed to the high queue for on Radium or Juke. No, I'm cool.
Yeah, those are some creative solutions. Now that you mentioned Radium and Jupiter, though, but I agree with you. But I hope that they do make some of those major improvements because I think they can't ignore it anymore.
They can't. You
regardless
got to
of-
remember, they can't keep masking it by putting out DFs on the front end when they're not taking care of their back end, and that's what it's all about.
Well,
And
I'm saying,
if you don't take care of your fucking back end, it's in game. We got like Sui,
yep.
and I'm having a meeting this week with Aptos to try to get them their heads out of their rump shakers. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, all of these new ISO level chains are kind of different, man. Aptos needs too much processing.
if you remember correctly, did you remember what Vitalik said at the beginning of the year? He was not gonna promote, excuse me, sorry, ZK chains and EVMs.
Nope.
But then Ethereum just sits nostalgic, and he's a root of his own demise if you think about it logically.
Yeah, but you saw though, he did validate Petra though on the rest of those improvements though.
Yeah, he did.
So I mean, I put that out early, and people are like, "Yeah, I don't think he's going to do it." And I said, "I know for sure he's going to do it. How do you know?" Well, just maybe you talk to people sometimes, and you really ask those hard questions. So, just like
Well,
you.
he's done. He's done with he built the protocol for China. So now he's back. But I
Well,
still think, bro, he allowed 2 years of malicious intent going on the Ethereum chain that's cost billions.
the foundation has thankfully always worked regardless, and the grants and the exploratory wing of the foundation has always continued to develop for the space. But yeah, I mean, Petra's a big improvement, and it's going to continue to evolve. So the foundation's continuing to build. So I hope I see you at a consensus, by the way, and
We'll see.
everyone else here, man. Roll through, man. Gotcha.
Zach's in Cali, man. He's trying to get that bald head tan.
Lake Tahoe is nice, man. I envy you, bro. It's cold as fuck where I'm at right now, so snow
It's
here.
chilly here, but yeah, it's awesome out here. I think Matt, you were waiting, man. What's happening, bro?
Hey, we have a guy on the ground right now for the Central African Republic coin, the car coin, paid. Are they even talking about that coin over there in North Africa?
No, I doubt it.
No,
No?
bro, no, dude. Fucking crypto's outlawed here. They have a bill right now they're passing to legalize crypto in Morocco, but as of right now, it's outlawed. Obviously, people do shit on a DL, like, obviously, but in the main public square, no one's talking about it.
Oh, that's too bad. Because the Republic of Congo is going to launch a coin here, hopefully today. I mean, I don't know. I just try to front
Matt,
on all these things and make as much
Be
money as I can.
careful, Matt.
What?
Be careful. That Maldives token took a couple million of liquidity out, and they had an official gold check marked account from the Prime Minister of the Maldives, and that token launched today and drained like 2 or 3 million liquidity.
Oh, Larry,
They-
I totally. If Donald J. Trump is going to rug everybody, I would not expect anything less from an African dictator than to rug pull his coin.
No, bro, it was a scam though. It was a. I mean, they had their P's and Q's tightened up, man.
It's
Well,
all
at
the
least they
same.
said it was a hacked account. Who knows though? You know, you never know. But man,
It's all
that
the same.
Maldives,
Donald Trump set the precedence. I mean, he's like, "Yo, I'm going to launch a coin. It's going to go to $100 billion. Then we're going to rug the son of a gun."
here's some
And after
financial
that,
advice.
everybody's like, "Why wouldn't we do that?" And you know what? All the degens and the Jeets are like, "Why would we not try to front run this and make as much money as we
Here-
possibly can?" I mean, it's legal now. Hot
Here's
Tua
some
Girl is
finan-
back
Yeah, but
online.
they've been doing that before, man. Don't quit,
Exactly.
quit making excuses, man, for saying it's this person, that person. They've been doing that shit since
Here's financial
January
advice.
24.
It's
I
all
always
about
tell
the money.
people-
It's all about
I
the
guess,
money, not
political-
emotions. It's all
Yo,
about
political
one at a
tokens.
It's not about
time,
race.
guys.
It's about
Jesus
greed.
Christ, chill.
Political tokens, ideological tokens. I just, you know, I don't trade anyways, but I just don't mess with them because of that. Because you never know, you know.
Hey,
And-
here's
Well,
a stat.
last week, the sentiment seemed to be on X. Last week, the sentiment seemed to be go deep into altcoins, and I agree with that. But
I thought you were going to
I
say go
don't think
deep in
meme coins
butthole.
are ever going to take a back seat here. I think
Why would
the
you
meme
think
coins are
that?
still gonna be front.
Matt is a butthole token maxi though, for sure.
Hey, here's an interesting stat for you guys. TVL share of top blockchain. So back in February of 2024, a year ago, Ethereum made up 61%, a little over 61%. Without looking, where do you think Ethereum is now, February 2025? They were 61% of market share in terms of TVL, the top blockchains. I think they went down or up.
Down
Where do you think they are?
45.
53%. During that same time period, though, Solana went from 2.7% a year ago to 9.4%. Pretty interesting. You saw Tron. Tron went from 11% a year ago to 5.5%. BNB has basically stayed the same. It's come down slightly. And then you've got Arbitrum, and then a bunch of others, you know, the category others, which, you know, that's increased quite a bit. The other category back a year ago, 16%. Now it's 24%. So there's just, you know, it just goes to show there's a lot more competition. You know, SWE, obviously, stealing some of that market share as well. But I thought the real interesting thing there is Solana's come down about 8%, while or excuse me, Ethereum's come down about 8%. Solana's went up about 7% within a year's time.
Zach, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I got to go. But I just want to give one more little play for people to look at. Look at Taiko. Taiko, by the way.
What is it?
Taiko Foundation. It's an EVM, but they have some interesting utilities. If you guys just want something different that's APAC centric, and you know, the market the trending metrics are different, just something to check out. In that, there's a class of like ISO equivalents coming out of Asia. That's one of them. I talked to some of the people at Taiko Foundation, and just interesting. Not a shill, but just if you have time to look at something, I'd suggest you just have a look at it. So they have their own.
Would you look at that?
label. What's that, Paige?
Nothing. Listen, you explain a joke is not as funny again. But Larry, always great to have you. I want to get the hands, Zach, because I know Andy's been waiting, and we got the Casper King himself in the room as well. Andy, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Just want to talk about a couple things. I had two things to say. I haven't been on in a while, and I probably won't be on for a little bit more. And just found out recently that I'm being screened for colon cancer. I'm having all of this, the signs and symptoms, and they ruled out everything else. So I might be MIA for a little bit. But my question was about I had heard something about Ondo and HBAR working together. Is that still going on? Because I looked up on Google, I can't really find anything. But I was wondering if that was still a thing.
To my knowledge, there's been a lot of rumors, Andy, but nothing set in stone. But it wouldn't shock me at all. I mean, they're both kind of working toward the same goals. So yeah, I mean, I think all of these plays in RWA, and that's really been my focus. The RWA sector, when it comes to like utility plays, right? The RWA sector and American-based cryptos, and then obviously, always buying Bitcoin, basically. I mean, that's literally kind of where I'm at. And then I'll dabble in the other stuff if I see an opportunity. Keep a side pool of cash just in case. You know, but where I'm really prioritizing is American-based cryptos right now, and anything that kind of fits into the RWA narrative, right? Because I think we've talked about this before, and a lot of us, I think, agree on this. Like, this is an institutionally driven bull market. Where's the institutional money going to go? Like that's kind of where my head's at, right? Like, how can I make the best educated guesses on where that institutional money is going to go, right? And you look at some things like, obviously XRP, Solana. I mean, Cardano. Cardano to me is very undervalued at 70 cents. And I know Cardano gets a lot of shit, and I get it. I mean, you don't have to like it, but Cardano at 70 cents, I mean, to me, you're talking about a top 10 crypto still. Chainlink, we've talked about that. Avalanche, I still think Sui has a great run in it. Stellar, XLM, you can make arguments there. Hedera, we mentioned Uniswap, Ondo, Algorand. This is kind of where I'm focused in on right now. But hey, man, on another note, hopefully all checks out, and keep us posted on that, man. We're thinking about you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
Over, what's up, man?
Yeah, definitely get better.
Hello, guys. Zach, Paid, and Zach too. Thank you for making this space. I love you. You are consistent, and millions of people are watching. Okay, not millions, but someday. Hopefully.
No. It's millions. There's millions here.
It's millions,
right.
millions of millions. I like to like listen to people and like to spend some of my energy. But right now, I just want to talk about me. NFTs are live on Casper. I minted one NFT for 1,000 Casper, and I just sold it for 50,000 Casper. All
God
me.
damn.
All me. I made
That's dope.
Money. Love the Casper community, and love. I just want to Zach, use your fame to tell my story. Yeah,
Bro, I got really excited about KRC20 tokens, and I'm not saying they're done or dead or anything, but they've definitely kind of lost their luster a little bit. Over, like, what's your take right now? Because you're like, I feel like you're deeply entrenched in their ecosystem all the time, whereas like I'm kind of spread a little thin. I'm trying to know a little bit about a lot. So like I know you're deep diving into CAS. Like, what's going on over there?
I don't have any KRC20s. I don't. What
So
I
you're
do
just
there,
strictly Casper.
yeah. I also have like 8 NFTs of Casper, but I also had some tokens. But all I know is you want to buy when it's low. But again, I think the best projects, like the honest projects, is Nacho. It's because they're really trying to build some utility. Like, they are making a mining pool, they're making a Minecraft server, they're making community events. Like, I think Nacho is like, they actually want to do something. But else, it's not on my thing. I just buy Casper.
Gotcha.
I have no responsibilities on the KRC20s, but I just know that Casper is a strong community. They're everywhere. I love Casper. I made money.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Thank
I mean, same, man. I mean, I was buying it throughout the bear market for sure, and that was the one play that like made people a lot of money just investing in. I mean, that thing went parabolic like all throughout the bear market. It's crazy.
What happens is, if a coin goes up for 2 years straight, and then it has a year where it's not doing anything, it's only natural Casper is having a bear market. But of course, because of time, it will go up again. That's just how the game is.
Yeah, I mean it's down 34% in the last year, but I mean you zoom out to that all chart, you're right. I mean you look up and man, they were on an absolute tear there for a while. Um, yeah, crazy. They topped out. They set their all-time high July last year, 6 months ago. They got up to like 21 cents. So I mean, yeah, that's a nice discount too right now. 56% off that. We're sitting at 9 cents right now. I think that's another interesting play right now.
Yes. Everyone, just do what you think is safe and don't invest too much money. Yes. Go on.
Yeah, for sure, man. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm looking through some of the news stories. There's one here that this has been coming up quite a bit. I just don't know how soon this is going to happen. You know, this whole digital asset reserve or crypto stockpile. It feels like they're going to focus in on Bitcoin first. And I guess like kind of the timeline we're looking at, you know, David Sachs has been on some podcasts. I think he was on the All In podcast, which I listen to from time to time. I caught some snippets of that over the weekend, and he's basically saying they think they can have that ready to go in about 6 months. So what does that put us out to? Like August, give or take. And
Yeah.
and I'm thinking that's probably what Rude's like. That's just strictly probably the Bitcoin strategic reserve, and then maybe the shift goes toward like the sovereign wealth fund, crypto stockpile, that whole deal.
Well, considering I'm part of the framework team for DC, um, the biggest thing was finding out that most of the BTC got moved over to Coinbase, right? And the United States had slowly sold it off last year, and so they got to try to rebuild that residual back up. So um, that's why I think they're doing what they're doing, and why they've shifted over to like ETH, because Solana really does a big pullback all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they're moving it over there to try to build a floor for for a decent amount of MC. So to me, I it could be done anytime. We know this, right? So they I mean, there's a lot of insider stuff that goes on. They can work it out with the exchanges. They could do lender. Um, I think the reserve will come down the pipe right after we announce probably some of the first framework coming out for rules and regulations. Which when we rolled out of there last week, we had 26 key points brought up, where half of it was designed for the L2 and the other half is designed for straight custodies and protocols. So I think what they'll try to do is first implement the BTC, the mineable coins, set the differential between the coin and what a token is. See, right now everybody's just lumping them all together, and that's where they have to separate it, because they don't want, they'll keep it the way they want to keep it, right? Like how it's going, so that way everybody can just be stupid about it. But for the guys that know what the hell's going on, you have to me, all I can tell you is, and this isn't alpha, this isn't whatever. Litecoin will be the silver ultimately. Okay, I will tell you guys this straight out, because it's capped at 75 mil. There's a lot of companies that are shifting rigs over to LTC this year, while still holding BTC, mining BTC like a lot of us have done, and then they're going to set up the tier system for the EVMs, which are tokens, man. And that's what sucks. And I don't mean to be a bearer of bad news, but I'm just telling you guys like it is. People can have it however they want to rationalize it, but the bottom line is, a coin is something mineable, and a token is off of a smart contract. When you set the difference, and that's the problem here, is on algorithm chain you can cap it or have it unlimited, like Doge and all that, right? And Elon's pushing for, maybe this is, I don't know if I'm Elon's trying to push for fucking Doge to be the penny, the copper of crypto. And so I think that's why Trump said what he said last night. I mean, we knew that 2 weeks ago, that he was trying to get Doge to be like the copper or the 1 penny increment theory for crypto, because he loves it. I mean, he named a department after it. But for me, they could do it anytime they want, Zach. But I think that what they want to try to do is get some type of article regulation out here first and get the tax done correctly to where people aren't just getting hammered and just smoked off of everything. So, you put all this shit together in one big ball, and you got to figure out how to place it correctly, right? And I'm just glad I don't have to worry about that. I just have to worry about trying to get the articles out as far as and the definitions clear, with clairvoyance for people.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is here's a direct quote from the All In podcast, guys. Kind of a little lengthy, but I think it's interesting. This is coming right from David Sachs. He says, some digital assets are cryptocurrencies. They're actually currencies. Then there are things that are crypto securities. Then there are things that are commodities. Bitcoin is actually regulated as a commodity right now. And you've got things that aren't securities or commodities. They're like collectibles, NFTs, things like that. So there's all these different categories. And one of the things that the market needs is just clarity around the definitions so that founders know what the rules of the road are and they can actually comply with them. This is still him. So giving them those definitions and describing how a crypto project could start, for example, as a security, and eventually the protocol could become decentralized enough where maybe it becomes a commodity. That whole idea, that's called market structure. Real quick pause on that. That's why I'm kind of bullish on Cardano after reading that paragraph. For example, as a security, and eventually the protocol could become decentralized enough where maybe it becomes a commodity. I mean, so anybody working to kind of create, a more decentralized system, it looks like that's going to bode well. And then here's the last bit of it. Sachs says that with Republican control over the House, legislators are now more likely to establish firm crypto regulations that can stick, unlike previous bills that had little to no effect. And then he finishes off by saying, I think there's a pretty good chance we can get this done in the next 6 months. Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, David's right in what his assessment is, but here's the situation. To state that BTC is a custodial asset, I don't know, man. I'm as a miner to this stuff. To me, it's fully decentralized because I get a 1-for-1, right? Like if any one of you guys up here were mining, you guys would get a 1-for-1. You complete a node, it goes to your wallet. You've earned that asset class or that coin, right? And so to me, it's fully decentralized until it comes out of your wallet, then goes to the CX. So to me, to define it that way, how can we, okay, so like, how are they, so what we took into account last week was fiat, right? Your currency, the regular currency. Is that considered, we threw it up on there, where does this fall at as far as, is it an asset? Is it a custodial asset? Da, 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 da. We broke it down, definition points. And you can't really, because the Federal Reserve mints our currency, or every government has a mint structure, right? This is where the underlinement applies. Because BTC is actually decentralized, right? You're mining it on an open source code. It's not being controlled, and that's what's scary here. Because I get everybody maybe bullish on like XRP or Cardano, but those can be controlled if you think about it logically, Zach. And that's one thing that we've always tried to stay out of in this space is we want that market cap, right? We want that dollar for dollar on the token or the coin, but we don't want to have to answer for what the definition is for it. But if you think about it logically, I would be more inclined to have Doge go in there with the servers and the code and have Billy and Jackson Palmer come back and oversee that chain and make that the Federal Reserve printer for digital currency than have, no offense, Cardano or XRP, which are still, Cardano's an EVM. XRP is a protocol pushed / proof of stake type of a situation, even though it's going to work with the banking structure, right? XLM and all that stuff. I would rather have it that way because at least Doge is unlimited supply with a cap per year. That's appealing to all of us. I think we can get down with that, right? That's what the federal mint does. So if we run out of paper and we have to do something, the coders can go on go to GitLabs and go ahead while the algorithm is still running on the servers, implement what do you want to say? They could pull off the cap per year to open up the floodgates to where you could mine unlimited for X amount of weeks and then re-implement it back in there for the throttle back. So that's what I would be more inclined for. I don't want a protocol to where the government's going to run it, because if that's the case, Zach, then we're going to be controlled by the government sooner than later.
Hey,
Like it, man. Go ahead, Clifford.
what's up, everybody? Happy Monday, by the way. Hey, was that Will speaking?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 questions I have for you. Well, one's a question and one's not. You said that U.S. government was selling BTC last year.
Yeah.
What wallet was that from?
I have no clue. I'd have to pull it, but we found this out 3 weeks ago that the Biden administration shifted it over to Coinbase, and they try to get Crypto.com to come on board with it too, and Chris wasn't being a part of it.
Good. Okay, so it's potentially they still have it, and we're not able to actually sell it over the counter or anything like that, or on.
Yeah. Well, no, they did sell off over half of it. There was a check cut by Coinbase Ventures to the United States government.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one. I know there was a lot of talk about the DOJ Silk Road funds, but I didn't see that one. So
Nah, bro. Okay, so you have to remember they've collected numerous BTC. Like they just they popped that ugly girl in DC for the exchange that they popped in 2017 with all that BTC. They had that. They had a couple of people in 21 OTC BTC, and they've always pulled the assets. So they've had more than just what was on Silk Road.
Right. Yeah, they had like, what was it? It's like 200,000 total or something close to that. I think
It was close. It was closer to 386,000.
386. Yeah. So that's a lot that they've if they've sold. That would be a shit ton.
Yeah, that's but you also have to remember too, you have Elon, which is a top 5 holder on BTC's wallet count, and I'm pretty sure him and Eric and Donald Trump Jr. have spoken with their amongst each other about it and working something out to where if they have to, that Elon would probably OTC them some supply of what he owns, because I would bank on it that because Elon's been accumulating BTC because he was mining it originally back in the day.
Right.
And so I would probably say he's top 1 or 2 because he was advocating for BTC before it was even cool.
Right. Long back in the day.
Yeah, in 2010 and 11 and 12. Because he actually essentially wanted to put miners in his Teslas. I remember him talking about that at one of his conferences.
Yeah, Elon's position is interesting in all of this, honestly. And then the other thing that I wanted to just bring up, because I know you guys were talking about SBR and everything like that, I think it's interesting, and I think it's still a lot of people are kind of missing the fact that David Sachs, Tim Scott, all those guys last week, they mentioned that the priority for this stuff is stablecoin framework. Stablecoin framework is the priority, not the SBR. The states are already running with that. I think there's 27 states already that's proposed for their particular state to have an SBR for it. So the majority is already there from the state.
Yeah. There was actually I think a list of 6 more that applied for it today.
Yeah.
for BTC.
Yeah, so from the state level, it's already a majority. So it will push
Do you,
to federal
do,
soon.
do y'all think the states are going to be able to successfully front run the government and get it before? I mean,
They have been.
Possibly.
Zach, they have been. Anybody, because here's what you got to remember. Most states were incorporating the BTC ATM machines ahead of everybody.
Hmm.
And the government wasn't trying to get on board. Just like when, you know, the legalization of statewide and federal government marijuana,
Yep,
right?
exactly.
So the states are gonna some of these, that's why I'm happy for Ohio getting Vivek in there, because Mike DeWine is a derelict. He may be a Republican, but he's a sheep in wolf clothing, right?
bro, the way he handled COVID, I mean, it was, I know that's kind of off track, but it said a lot, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, it was just terrible because he locked Ohio completely down. I mean, nobody could move. I was still up there then, you know, and he locked everybody in for 8 months. But yet Florida was like, what are you talking about? We know better than this.
Bro, he had some crazy shit too. Like bars were closing at 10 as if like the boogeyman comes out at 10:01.
Bro,
You know what I'm
he's
saying?
killed.
And I was like, bro, what are you doing?
He killed Cleveland. He's killed Cleveland's economy.
He destroyed Cleveland. Yeah, it's terrible.
And
Terrible.
he's just, at least Vivek is a realist, and he understands that you still have to have industrial to build out. You can have tech. Don't get me wrong. You can have monster tech. Yeah, we all agree with that. And you can have AI and you can have robotics. But you got to have industrial to be able to incorporate that type of stuff. You can't just have a full-on gas station with a bunch of restaurants with retail, and that's it.
Vivek's a business guy too, so he's
Yeah.
Successful. He's gonna, if he gets in there, he's gonna do a good job. I believe he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he just
100%.
comes at it with a fresh mind. I think that's more than anything, man, why I'm so excited about, crypto right now. You just got a lot of people with new ideas and people who aren't beholden to the system. You know what I mean? And obviously, you've got the House, you've got the Congress, you've got the president, but outside of all of those boxes checked, you've got builders, you've got entrepreneurs, you've got young, spirited people who are
Bro,
willing to adapt and change and evolve and try shit.
Zach, if Vivek wins governor, he will be the governor of the most important state on the globe. This is because in Columbus is where now the BTC servers sit for us miners, right?
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, China moved them over. Okay, so here's the whole layout. Vitalik puts us up for a foundational vote after we come out of 2.0, right? For the algorithm. Fast, clean, didn't have to overclock anything, right? It was sweet, error free. Bro, you could get down with the get down. It brought back 2016 vibes, right? Of my ETH. He gets then this group of Chinese kids come in, and all of a sudden you see him in the labs with them. I'm going, what? Oh, no way. We're not going to EVM. 2 weeks later, he throws a vote. Right after 2022, we go to a vote. All the miners come in. There's millions of us, right? We're thinking we got the vote in the foundation. We're not gonna lose it. We're gonna go to 2.0 and make it a mineable asset. So no, somehow they bought it. They botted the vote and we lost. So ETH gets pushed to EVM. Vitalik goes and he gets hired by Republic of China to do their stable coin. The servers miraculously get brought over here to the United States. In the meantime, when Vitalik got hired in, the week that he got hired in was in the week when China released the servers to a company here in the United States and brought them to Columbus, Ohio, in 2022.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. Mutasco, what's up, man?
Muchacho, what's up, bro?
Hey, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Can you hear me? We can hear you, Mutasco.
I think Zach was gonna probably
roast me, so I had to be quick by saying it. I just have to say it to make sure I'm checking. Um,
Mic
that
check, mic check.
no, I want to remind make a comment here about, because these things remind me when things get really hot. There was a speech that the late Charlie Munger did. I don't remember the date, but it's a long one. It's about 2 hours, I believe. But he had talked about, I think it had something to do with the psychology of human misjudgment. Check me on that, but that was the title. But there were two things that he said that cracked me. Okay. Um, and I actually literally had to write this down and just pound it in my brain. And I'm hoping that somebody might learn from this, right? Um, and I'm going to give a few examples. One of them had to do with the Pavlov's dog experiment. He talks about the Pavlovian dogs were trained in such a way that when the bells rang, the dog starts to salivate before the food came. So essentially, what he was trying to say was that association and correlation and all the things that people like to say, well, Ethereum is down because of that, or Vitalik is selling, that's why Ethereum is going to zero. Or you say, oh, Ethereum went to proof of stake, and that's why it's going to die. You guys get my example. So if you want to understand a more deeper context of what the Pavlovian dogs training has anything at all to do with crypto, I encourage you to go listen to that, The Psychology of Human Misjudgment by the late Charlie Munger. It's very helpful. The other interesting one he talked about was the Persians' messenger syndrome. And the Persians, they had something, and I didn't know this, right? I have a friend who's married to a Persian, but I didn't know this, right? When the way he described it was the Persians actually they either killed the bearers of bad news, um, and just eliminated them, or they punished them. It's one or the other. And the reason they did that was that they didn't want, like, yeah, if I send Zach from Subway and pay to whatever, and then Zach from Subway always comes with the cheating bad news, right? And then Paid comes with good news. I just have to eliminate Zach from the scene, because then what happens is we'll only have Paid coming in with good news. So over time, everyone associates, so it becomes a conditioning effect. Everybody thinks, so for example, let me give you an example, because I've read a lot of things on the Solana congestion. I mean, one of the technical core developer wrote an entire thesis on this when people said, oh my, I can't get my transaction through. And I went and read the whole thing. And I said, oh my God, this is complex. There's a lot of nuances to this. I forgot his name. If I actually find it, I'll post it back here, because I was listening to Roots talk about his validation challenges, and that was what came to my mind. But long story short, I would love to have paid. It's like I've had Kyle Samani, right? And by the way, Kyle Samani's multi-coin. Dave Sachs has like a heavy bag on that. And so one of the things that I want to say here is I've heard the guy speak many times. He and Tushar, they're super smart dudes. One of the things I've always heard him say, and this guy is fascinating. He said once that, oh, yo, we looked at Ripple, but we saw the XRP, the tech was, they were just full of it, right? Right? But boy, we were so wrong on the price. It went up. But he likes to say these things, and then he celebrates his own wrongs, right? He says, well, we were wrong on the tech, like on the price, but the tech, they don't have anything. I'm like, are you really, do you believe this? Are you genuinely saying Ripple or XRP has no tech? Are you really being genuine? Okay. Then I'm like, well, you are actually full of it. Okay. And what I mean by that is the I'm going to connect this to the Persian messenger syndrome, right?
Like Solana can say, well, you say, well, the congestion, like, don't forget about that. The congestion is not we'll figure it out. Okay. And I'm going to post some things here. You can go look them up. I actually just posted a 2 screenshot that gives you an entire summary of what's being built within Ethereum, right? So when you're in these spaces and you're listening to people spin off their narratives, right? One of the things you have to remember, and I go back to the Charlie Munger thing about the psychology of human misjudgment, right? So if you're here long term, and you think that the space is going to evolve and things are going to work out, play it cautiously. That's all I'm trying to say. So 2 things I'm going to leave you with: the the Pavlos dogs, because yeah, the meme coin, yeah, Solana meme coins are going up. Yeah, and Solana's no, that's not. It's like the Android versus Apple iPhone, right? And I can post data on this as well. If you can look back from Android's market share, Apple's market share, and then you say, okay, what is Apple's market share versus their profit? And you compare that to Android, you're like, oh my gosh, Apple is leading in profit because they're focused on premium. And then Android is like, oh, we're going to go into emerging markets and we're going to have some budget phones. And so you're going to sell a lot, but your margins are going to be literally peanuts. So it all depends on which angle you come from on these blockchains. The biggest enemy, I think, is we're trying to displace TradFi and Web2, but they're beginning to come in because now we have customized L2s for TradFi guys. So they're not leaving the party for only us. This is why I think this conversation is very complicated. So I don't like to choose like who's going to win. I just have to be aware that, hey, my defensible portfolio includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Okay, I don't care what you say about these 3. I don't care. I just have it sits there. We'll see what happens. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And then I play on the other side, right? The exotic, more like, and then I have another like really, really risky one. I'm not going to say my place, but I usually like random stuff. I get money out, whatever, right? So just know that there are some portfolios you just have to keep, don't shake, don't touch. And that is also based on, there's 2 things. And I'll shut up on this. That somebody said this about conviction. And he said, we have derivative type convictions, right? Or leverage convictions. So somebody is, full porting on these assets with leverage. Like, I have conviction on this. No. It's the leverage, okay? Or it's money you don't have, and you're saying you have conviction. If that money gets pulled out of you, you're gone, right? You're blown out, right? So if you have conviction, and your conviction is based on, hey, this is money I'm willing to invest, and it's not borrowed money, it's not some leverage money, whatever, your mind is set. Okay, you're fine. For some of us, and I'm just speaking for myself right now, I have a Web2 fiat mining job. Okay, and if the bull market ends today, it's fine. Okay, I know crypto's long term, I'm gonna be fine. Okay, but there are some people who are like, it's a do or die. The bull market has to come, or else I'm screwed. Okay, I don't know what their situation is. What was that?
Moscato, that's because people are programmed
I don't know.
just they're programmed just a certain way, right? So who's gonna? Okay, let me ask you this, Moscato. If you had a choice, I'm just gonna get that out. If you had a choice between just keep doing what you're doing, or somebody said, hey, look, we need somebody to go start hosting town halls to explain the proper procedure of how to conduct or how to get into crypto with a wallet, but you got to do it for free. What would you choose?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, that's a question for you.
What did you say? Like, if I had the choice to choose
Yeah,
between
if you had
what?
a choice between doing just keep mining or doing something for transparency and mass adoption in crypto, would you just keep doing what you're doing on the back end as far as mining, or would you take it on your back and go out there and do these town halls for free, uh, just for the betterment of crypto?
Well, it depends, right? If you're doing that for free and you have something that keeps you, like everybody has, like this morning we're in a finance space and they were talking about, the United States receipts versus the mandatory spend.
But you
So
see,
it's
you're
like,
missing the
hey,
point. Okay, so
I'm
I
gonna
don't
make a
want,
point. Let me finish my
but
point. You
hold on, yeah,
understand?
hold on.
Let me
I
make a
just want you,
point.
I just want you to answer the question directly, bro. I don't want, because this is the problem here. Everybody has their own, own ideas of it, but it's a simple question that I'm asking. That's why I'm just asking it for you. But go ahead and
But
finish
the
your point.
question is not simple though. You're saying I should either stay in the mining or go do something for free. And I'm trying to explain to you that it's not that simple because let's say I have a family, okay? Mining could earn me something. But if I'm going to do something free, what does that even mean? Because how am I going to feed my family? That's the point I was trying to explain to you, that there are some expenditures that if you don't have, then you can choose between these two easily. You can say, well, I can go do this for free and then forego the mining. But if the mining is true what you're going to help pay your rent, I don't know why free is an option. Free can't be
Okay,
an option.
so
So that's my
I've been
answer.
right. Well, okay, well, I've been a miner in this space for 16 years. Okay, I've learned. I've had friends make DApps for me, even for Apple. Okay, to where I could monitor my miners, or I could hire somebody. Okay, so I can monitor them long distance. I could just log into my IP and take a look at what's going on, and still be able to go educate people. You see what I'm saying?
So that keeps your revenue coming, right?
Yeah,
Because you're still able to do partially what you're doing right now remotely.
yeah.
So you're not foregoing the mining. That's kind of how I heard you, right? So I'm just saying
Well,
on the
yeah,
back
because
end.
what I wanted to hear was I wanted to hear your rebuttal on how seasoned you are as far as a miner goes. Because a person that loves code always finds avenues to stay making profit no matter where they're at, even if their rigs are 3,000 miles away from them.
Well, that's what you're speaking to is on a minor, right? It can also be describing to something that I'm doing. For example, my professional work is in supply chain, and I could be doing not just for my core job. I could be doing consulting jobs on the side that could earn me money. At the same time, I can still do that and do crypto as well. So it all depends. And I don't get paid for hanging around spaces and
Are
doing
you
whatever.
are you
So it all depends, right?
I take it I take it you're doing. Okay, so when you say supply chain, I mean, and you're doing a layer two miner or a web two miner. I mean, are you mining cryptocurrency or are you mining minerals? What are you mining? If you don't mind me asking.
Was I'm not doing anything related to crypto on my supply chain. I work in defense.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep. But you made a comment earlier about Vitalik, and I don't know if you were referring to his statement on layer twos, because what I heard him say was that he wasn't going to support layer twos that are not like working towards becoming stage, because he was talking about the stages. Was there anything specific on ZKs that you were referring to earlier? I don't know if I heard you
He's
correctly.
just not going to support them because they're not supporting tech build out. Okay, they're not building framework. A lot of these chains. Okay, so what you have to understand is in 2022 when we come into the last bear market, I knew I called it in 21. I said I see where this is going to go. We're going to get a push for a lot of EVMs. The alpha room's going to be gone because these guys because during a bear market people are going to look to figure out how to try to survive. And lo and behold, what happens? We had the inception of a huge uh, push of EVMs coming down the pipe, right? And none of them with any type of a tech build out because they had zero common sense of how to go out here and hit the ground running and network, how to go to consensuses, conferences, how to go to the real tech conferences and network correctly to onboard real protocols, bridges, things like that that are going to bring real world asset to their chain. They don't. None of these guys are doing that, and I get what he's saying in that mannerism. It's like why are these guys? Why is Frederick from Dex Tools accepting all these stupid chains, and yet they're not doing anything but just pushing memes? That's it. So that's what Vitalik was referring to.
Yeah, he's made different comments.
our goal, yeah, our goal is to get this stuff out into your device, into different wallets or different apps that can be used as a real world asset to help you in your day to day life. Um, just anything, you know what I'm saying? Make it accessible and think outside the box. And I think Zach can agree. I think both Zachs can agree with Pay that then a lot of these chains haven't done crap. It's only the chains that came out prior from this cycle that are making a dent. And then all you hear, well, we're building something. No, you're not, because we all know what an EVM relies on. An EVM relies on transactions. And right now, Solana has taken the threshold and taken the meme cycle by the balls and has ran with it.
But there is a lot being built, though. I don't know if your statements are more generalized, because if you're specific, we can address them in terms of what is being built,
okay,
right?
well,
So,
on what chains outside the top 8?
what was that?
What chains outside the top 8 are actually doing anything? We have over 200 chains right now live in this space. What are all the
Ondo.
rest of those guys doing?
Ondo.
Well, Ondo is you know, you have to understand something. Ondo is doing something like they're supposed to do, right? They're networking. They went out here and they got in the trenches as far as the conferences. They rubbed elbows with people. They've done what they're supposed to do. You know, they branded their project correctly and went out here and did it. But no one's following these footprints of how these guys are being successful. Everybody says, "Oh, no, they didn't get lucky. They busted their ass." Everybody that's like H bar and all of them, they went out here and busted their ass, even when they got told no.
Yeah, but Will, what you just said was anything out of the top 8, and then he said Ondo, so that kind of defeated the whole
Well,
purpose.
Ondo's in the top 8 in my opinion, and that's the truth.
I could see Ondo going to top 10. We talked about this before. I think Ondo will be in the top 10.
I don't go based
They
upon
currently
what
are
they're
not.
Paid. I don't go based upon what they're how much they have in a market cap. I go based upon their tech and how they're out here rubbing elbows and meeting people and engaging and bringing something of different value back to the space. And that's what Ondo's done. That's what H bar has done. That's what Cardano was doing. That's what Ripple's doing. That's what the BTC Foundation's doing.
Chainlink.
Chainlink. VeChain has been networking heavy.
Well, if you think about it, and what's up, Will, by the way, in room, you know, tech is what we all want, and a lot of the people in here have been in it a long time and understand that, and that's what we need. But yet the mentality of the investor is, you know, go turn your $1,000 into $10,000 in a week. So, you know, they're looking for shit tokens basically to make a lot of money versus development, where, you know, RWA is really what this industry needs. And I think pretty much everybody's up here speaking, and probably a lot of people in the room wouldn't be in here if we weren't talking about those kind of things. So
I think we can all agree. One thing, my biggest stickler that I'm firm on, and what I'm saying in DC is I don't want retro. I want people held accountable prior to, because a lot of us have followed the rules and regulations for several cycles in this space, and you're going to allow, because of a social status, people, you know, to try to just give people something. No, you don't do that. We all know right from wrong. When we turn 18, we move out on our own.
I agree. I mean, look, you know, again, I look at crypto as a long-term investment versus a short-term. Yes, I trade and everything, but the coins we're talking about this morning, you know, they've all been around a long time. So, the AVAXs, the chain links and what have you, those coins have been around since the, we'll say, early teens or 2008, 2010, 2017, whatever it is. So that's what we're all kind of looking at and understand. Doesn't mean that's what everybody else. It's what's the investor, but that's what we
'cause,
need. Blockchain
'cause Coach,
technology.
well, because Coach, and I think Zach, I'll explain this to you. If we could pull the IPs from a lot of these chains, you're going to find them all in the same hub district in Germany, and you guys will all shit your pants for a lot of these EVMs that have popped up in the last 2 years.
Why Germany?
Because that's where my boy Vic. That's where his server hub's out of. He's the guy that actually he's the one that built what was it, Polygon. He built the Polygon EVM chain for them, and he's laid out the he laid out, he was the builder for Cronus' EVM, so a lot of people have used them. And their main server base is in Germany. That's where a lot of these guys are renting servers because they're cheaper than renting them over and out of Japan. Okay, so if you have to get 8 servers up for an EVM, 8 to 12 right away, those guys have it because they had them on deck, right? And they're only, I think they're only $300 each compared to what you'd be paying like Coinbase Labs for their cloud servers, which is like $1,100 a server.
Let me
Makes
ask
sense.
Will, let me ask you a question. I had this yesterday in a Bitcoin space. And this is what I get confused about when it comes to doing these details breakdown of, and I'm aligned with everything that you just said, right? Maybe some blockchains need to do better. But the question I have for you is this: right now, and I didn't even think about it this way. Like, think about Michael Saylor's prominence in the Bitcoin community today. And there was this thought around, if Michael Saylor, everybody expects him to buy, he's also said publicly, I'm never selling. So if we end up in a scenario where Michael Saylor, we wake up tomorrow and Michael Saylor say, okay, I'm selling 1 Bitcoin. Um, the effect of that could drag Bitcoin's price down to a certain level. And if it does that mean that anything structurally has changed in the Bitcoin network?
No,
Great.
not at all. Because
Exactly. So
BTC, okay, understand this. An algorithm brings millions of people into cryptocurrency. So one person's naiveness is not going to affect a whole slew of miners.
perfect. So again, that's, the reason why I ask you this is, while we all believe that, for example, with Ethereum, right? There's so many things that people can say, well, this is not working, this is not doing this, but generally, if the price were to move up, a lot of people would not even start talking about anything else. So I always think that sometimes the sentiment is so skewed, and it's hard to tell whether people actually are speaking from, and for you, you're doing the work, so your views are usually like linked to practicality. There are a lot of people who will make statements about why this is doing this, and without this could have been better, and it's like they're trying to associate things that just are not practically relatable, and it's frustrating. Do you feel this? Like, I'm like,
Well, yeah, because I mean, like for instance, we could be talking about here right now. We could be talking about how Dave Portnoy actually. Here's what's funny. Like this weekend, we've had Dave Portnoy who supported one called Jail Stool through the whole weekend, and this man is trying. This man came in last cycle, bought SafeMoon, got wrecked, whatever. He could have held it to November, but he wanted to make quick flip, so he ended up selling on the dip on the first run up. But he's coming back in and he's playing over here on Soul. And this time around, he's trying to do something different. Like he's trying to onboard people. Like he even got Kraken to list this token over the weekend, right? And then he goes out and he puts a merch store together for this to add real world asset to this meme. These guys don't even care. They're just in it to make, and then they're blaming him if he doesn't burn his supply. The man bought the freaking token because it come off a pump fund. The guy who deployed it launched another one called Fumbler afterwards. And all Dave's trying to do as an investor is add real world asset back to this token to see if he can actually do something for it. And these guys, ever since the Super Bowl yesterday, it was at 250 mil, have dropped it all the way back down to like 100 mil, which is crazy. That should go. And yet they're going to sit there and blame a person who owns a podcasting company or a media conglomerate, and he's actually trying to onboard people. That's what kills me. And people are. And he's getting the same shit that any one of us would get if we would do it. Oh, you sold that. He didn't sell. He bought back in, and he said, "Look, every 100 mil goes in. I'm putting 100K into this project."
Don't they eventually get frustrated? It's like, damn, I'm
Yeah.
busting my ass for this stuff, and these people keep selling every time it fucking pumps. You know,
And that's
it's
where
like,
that's where these KOLs and all these other wing dingers need to step up to the plate and be like, "Yo, we support you, bro. We're willing to." Like that guy Asman, I think his name is, that tall skinny kid that can't fight over there in Solana. He needs to step up and actually quit being a puppet to the game, because here's the situation. If it stands correct and nothing gets retro, these kids are going to owe a lot of fucking money to the federal government. And they better figure out how they're going to pay it, or they're going to be spending a lot of time in jail.
There's something that happened this weekend to what your point that you were making about Kanye. I don't know if it's true, but he spent like $7 million for a 30-second ad on Super Bowl. I didn't watch it. I just had I read the thread about this. I could post it here also. But one of the things that you're saying prior to that, he did a post about looking for a contact on crypto, and the whole crypto community were like, what's the CA, all that. So I was tracking all of that nonsense. And one of the things that I thought about when he did that 30-second thing, the ad literally shows you him talking about something, and then it directs you to Yeezy.com. And then when you go on Yeezy.com, there's like a one-page HH-01 whatever something that you have to click, and there's some crazy racist whatever they call it right on that screen. And it turned out that $7 million within a few whatever earned him $19 million in sales on the Yeezy products. And I was thinking about this, and I said, this guy.
Hold on, Ye didn't launch anything. He didn't even entertain it.
No, he didn't. And the point I'm making there is I would rather, right? Like, how people say, maybe he should put the CA, like if he's directing you to Yeezy, the only way you get into the project, if he was to launch a coin, to actually direct you through a QR code to his website to then scratch off the contract address. I don't know how that's going to control like insiders, but if he claims that I'm not going to snipe it, it might be an elegant way to launch a token. But it was just
Yeah, but I don't
fascinating
want
to
to see. I
watch.
don't want to. After watching what Dave's going through, I may not like Dave Portnoy, but after watching what he's trying to do, and he's really trying to do something different. I mean, he liked it. He actually created a merch line in less than 24 hours, took the money that he made off the merch line, paid his taxes on it, brought it back into the space, and bought this token back up, and people still dunked on him. See, that's the problem we have here, is we have too many bad car salesmen in this space. We have too many kids that are quitting high school, that aren't going out here and working fundamentally. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you can't come into this space and play right, I don't feel you should be here. I really don't.
that's kind of what they've been taught, right?
And you're talking to a man who minds this stuff, but I've also made hella gains on the L2 side throughout every cycle. Okay. I just come off of a seven-figure gain or seven-figure win on Nero CTO this cycle so far. And before that, I probably made the most I ever made in this space, which was over 28 million on SHIB. So I know how to play the fucking game, bro. And that's not you don't get generational wealth by coming in here and going on Reddit and bragging about $1,200 a fucking week. I don't want to hear that shit. Well, considering I know Ryoshi and them boys, and Ryoshi walked away and he went on to make UFO and trees, and I made good money on those last cycle. I've always had a good relationship with the guys from crypto.com, right? Their tech side. And I don't agree with farming a community. I'm not saying Shibarium has done that. I think that the group once Ryoshi and Angel left, they've done a good job as trying to pick up the pieces, right? But when you don't have fundamentals as far as when you come in as an investor and then you want to try to be a creative dev in this space and you've never done it, or if you've never even done technical work and you got to sit here and weed through a bunch of stuff, I don't think it's a good analogy. You have to have it's like building a business, right, Zach? You have to understand what you're doing, and you have to take the time and the effort to put it in there. And I think that Shibarium is a victim of its own circumstances because it has a hell of following, and SHIB is a hell of a community. Yeah, Zach.
My thing is, man, I feel like they've just tried to do way too much. They're trying to do it all. You know, just focus in and be good at something. You know,
Well,
it's
Coach,
like the old adage: if you try to do everything, you do nothing at all.
Coach came in. Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
When they hired that when they hired that William Volk guy from Activision, I was super excited, man. I met him a few times. I mean, this guy was like a big player. I'm like, okay, they can actually go in here, build an ecosystem, not just one little play to earn game that's a cash grab, but build an ecosystem. And if you really want to, go from just a meme coin to utility, like that was a path. Like they had the people in place,
But they fumbled it, and that's
they fumbled it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you're
thus
right.
far.
You're right. They 100%. This is what happens, man, and that's like, okay, I'll just lay it out there. I know we're on a recorded space. Rob from over there, right? He's the one that launched the Cabal fucking Nero on ETH. Okay, he launched the Cabal one on ETH, and then SI took over the Nero CTO, right, on ETH, and the community was tenfold better. And just a tweet from your main account isn't going to pull weight when there's hardly any engagement on across the socials. And that's what Nero. That's why BSC or Binance decided to pick up the CTO last year, was because they didn't care about the MC. They had Justin Sun behind them, and the community was blowing every social platform up. And you could tell that their community was tenfold stronger, and the holder count was stronger. And that's what we've been trying to tell them. Like my buddy Ian actually helped write the code, to help do that, the Shibarium. And he even said they're yeah. Did he take 30 off? Hey, bro. No, I'll tell him. But like Ian just came back into space, bro. So I didn't know he pulled that out. What a
He just came back into space, needed a little head start, sounds like.
Yeah, but you can't take 30K from a group, man. You can't do that, man. You got to work hard. See, this is what I tell all these guys. Okay, I'll be honest with you. I tell all these guys, man, ahead of time. Know your value. Charge it up front. If you don't get it, don't do it. And these guys all go do the work, and then they make excuses, and then want to point fingers. My thing is, if you start doing the work before receiving your payment, like you laid out, it's on you now, bro, if you bend over community. It's not on the team. The team said they'll honor it. And if you know these guys and they've honored it before, then that's on you. But to me, you always have to know your self worth and you have to charge accordingly. And if you don't charge accordingly, you fuck your reputation up. Yeah, he's got to take it. He didn't need to take 30. He didn't need to take 30 grand if that thing ran up to 30. If that thing ran up to 30, and he was getting 12% on every TX hash. Mm-hmm. And he wondering why. Yeah, and I asked him, Zach. I said, "Why are you getting death threats?" And he's like, "Oh no." I was like, "Are you sure you didn't fucking stiff somebody?" No, no. I was like, "Yeah, okay, I hear that." Yeah, because Ian's only like 30 years old. You're gonna tell me an 8-year-old took your? Come on, don't bullshit a bullshitter. Yeah. Well, no, I've known. Now, understand this. I've never had a business relationship with Ian. I've always kind of mentored him since I've met him. I've known him for 6 years in the space, right? And so I when he came in as a web tour, so but I never ever, I've always just chopped it up with them. So what these guys do on their business side, I've never sent business his way. Like I legitimately know coders. I know kids that come out of college that write one for ones. I have a young man in this space right now, man, who's wrote. He's just brilliant. Him and his buddy, man, they're web threeers, and I mean they could fork anything, and they could build you anything you want, and they do one for ones, and they're cheap. They're $2,500 for a smart contract, and they pass and they test it. They test it to make sure that it passes on Dex tools, it passes the audit scans, it passes the honeypots, and they've done a lot of one for ones, man, in this space, leading all the way back to you guys remember the project Drip on BSC? They
Yep.
wrote the entire faucet system. They revamped it for them, and then they also worked with Bank Teller on Elephant and Trunk, doing a lot of one for ones for Bank Teller.
So Will,
Yeah.
Zach,
So
go
I
ahead.
gotta be
Sorry,
quick.
No, I wanted to ask Will. I wanted to ask Will a question. This is probably the most politically, diplomatically structured response I've ever had about Shibarium. But the point you made about Shibarium, there was a point that I wanted to ask you, just based on how SHIB was launched, right? If everything is built around SHIB, and you talked about Ryoji stepping away and all that, do you genuinely believe that cash has been a constraint? Like,
No,
no,
no.
no
You, you,
one.
you, you know what's been a
Yeah.
restraint? Greed. Because
Okay, that's yeah.
here's the situation. Here's the situation. Until you cash out, it ain't yours. It's nothing more than just fucking digital assets sitting in a fucking DeFi wallet. So if you're gonna say, I made this much, well, listen here, turd nuts. If you didn't cash out, you didn't make shit. Let's be 100 here. So that's an excuse for builders in this fucking space, bro. I know real builders that like I said, I know two good coders that just graduated from college, one from MIT, and these kids are fucking printing because they do their stuff right and they don't need nothing. They have a nice firm budget. They only need like $3,000 a month to cover their fucking their expenses, their apartment, everything else, and they're making it 100 to 500K just off of coding a month. Not to mention if they have supply or if they're staking or if they're mining. And these kids in this space, there's so many of them that are bad actors that say they can market, they say they can bring volume, they can do all this other bullshit, and you know they can't. And here's the problem: when Ryoshi walked away, granted, SHIB was always renounced contract, right? So take that into consideration. Every contract that was deployed up until 2021, real talk, some of them were hit and miss, but most of them were always renounced, and they always had a mint function capability in them. And everybody got scared. All of a sudden, these new scanners come out. Oh, mint function this, mint function that. No, man, the mint function is there to protect over an error in the compiler version that's there, right? So you put a mint function to protect the error so it doesn't get exploited because it's open source. And a lot of people don't understand that. So you get a bunch of rookies that come here and they start screaming FUD this, FUD that. But then here's what happened with Shibarium. Okay, this is what happened with Shib. Ryoshi and them walk away. They leave it in the hands of the community. The community then wants to do, if you remember back in April, I think it was May or April, after we started dunking, right? After I got out, they went to a V2 and I had a Moonbat. And then they screwed up the V2. They forgot a bunch of holders, so they had to do a V3. So that set them back up until November of 21 for them to rerun up. But they had a lot of hiccups, and that's what happens when you have investors trying to step up to become what they seem to think is a dev, and they're not. Like Ian, for instance, like Zach got to meet Ian. Ian was an investor in SHIB, just like everybody else. It was community takeover, but now we call it a CTO, right? So to me, it's selfish fucking greed, bro. And like Bone and all that shit, dude. Whatever, man. That was just because guys missed the fucking boat, man. So Bone had to come out so people could make some fucking money back. Zach, I ran the whale group for SHIB. We were in the preset. We had 259 whales in that group. Okay. And none of them are, other than with Moonbags, are officially in the Telegram because they lost the Discord because they suck. You lose a verified Discord channel, you're fucking stupid. And shut up, Mar. You don't even fucking follow me, bro. You don't get time up here today.
I mean, here's the other thing, though.
I don't even think Mars spoke.
No, here's the other thing, real quick, and I want to hear from Mar. This is the other thing that just that whole thing with launching that Solana SHIB token through the main account. Like, you could say what you want about Bone and Leash and if that's necessary and whatever. Like, you can actually have an argument there. The shit that just happened. Well, I mean, compared to what just happened with that fucking Solana token. I mean, what do you? I mean, come on, man. I mean, like, that's just a pure, outright in front of your face scam. I mean,
I get it, but they farmed people because what happened was they added newer people in after November 21 because they lost their asses, and Coach will validate this with you. There was a bunch of people that wanted to become part of that team so they could make money back, and so they started running with other idle ideas. And then remember when they launched Shibarium the first time? It was another fucking chain name on it, on the code. Everybody fucking cracked on it. So you think about this. Those guys didn't even. So they were farming to make money back, and they were trying to find other ways. Granted, they're staying with it. Don't get me wrong. Well, I mean, that's what a good car salesman will do. If he sees something that he can make money on every day, he's going to stay there, right? He's going to keep milking it and keep trying to sell the car or another car. So to me, it sucks because Ian gets pulled in there. Ian was a rookie fucking dev on Mars Swap because I did his AMA for him. Right after he had left SHIB, and he goes to Cronus, man. He goes to Crow. I'm like, are you fucking stupid, dog? You're over there. You're about to get smacked. I said, there's so much congestion and cloggage on that chain, dog, you're gonna get your cheeks clapped. No, no. he fucked me, dog. So don't even. He fucked me on that metaverse. I can tell you that as an investor. No, I wasn't even. I was just brought in because I did the AMA, and then I bought into that stupid shit, and it fucking didn't go nowhere. So I just, you know what? I learned that what I put in on projects, dog, I'm willing to lose, and yeah, it's a gamble, and so the beauty of mining is I'll always have an influx of crypto. So a lot of you guys don't. Go ahead. Zach, you want an insider? You want an insider information? Ryoshi would have came back and done the layer 2 form or done the layer 1 form. They wanted out from underneath him. That's why they chose to go the route they did. And had they not, bro. Think about it. Ryoshi is a top dev for Crypto.com. That's why Crypto.com houses so much supply of SHIB. You got an automatic footprint to a tier 1. Why not go ahead and stick with the dog that led you to the billions? Shibarium could have fucking been, bar none. I would have fucking been over there running a validator today if Ryoshi was still on board. That dude knows how to print, and I've known him since 2016 in this space. And so, to me, these guys want to go out here and they want to keep tripping over their own wieners. So be it, man. Go do it, brother. Best of luck to you. I still got a moon bag because I'll tell you right now, the best thing that those guys did for me before he quit was he got fucking SHIB on Newegg. And I'm sure, Zach, you know what Newegg is.
Yep. I remember
Yep.
that partnership.
Yep. I can go over there and buy anything I want with SHIB.
Gift cards, travel.
Yep. Computers, miners, racks, all that good shit, bro.
Yep. Mar, what's up, man?
Yo, Zach, what's up, man? What's up, everyone? Zach from Subway. Zach, not from Subway. Paid. Man, I hope you're all doing great. I'm static with this market, man. Static. I'm so pumped. Yeah, no, I just came out of the doctor, man. It's heartbreaking what I heard from the one individual that he said something about his colon. I don't know if I heard correctly. I hope I didn't hear correctly. But I've been dealing with this shit too for like a year and a half. I was actually in the fucking my doctor.
Let me ask you. Hold on. Who's speaking? Who's speaking right now?
Mar.
Yo, screw you, Mar. Why aren't you following me, bro?
Well, I think it's like the first time I ever hear you speak.
Man, you were in fucking Larry's space the other day and didn't even fucking
Where?
Man, this is rude.
Oh, there you go.
Bro, you complain. You don't even follow me, rude. Chill out.
Oh, you don't follow me neither,
Rude.
Paige.
Oh, rude. Oh, this is rude. But I follow rude. But I follow you on the account.
Okay, hey Mark, have you? Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up to your guys' attention. There was an HBO special about 14 years ago that came out about us already having cancer treatment, right?
Yeah.
And then there was a YouTube video. There's been several of them popped up, and then on the Joe Rogan, when you had Mel Gibson on there a couple months back, spoke about this. You realize you can use dogworm medicine, bro, and you can use vitamin E and some other blue dye. And people have been doing this for 6 weeks, and because of what's in that dogworm medicine, it kills any cancerous cell count in your body, whether it's a level 4 to a level 1.
Wow. Yeah, no, thank God that I'm good on that. I've done tests and I'm clear on that. I have like a real chronic IBS, which I don't want anyone to have that shit. So it's mostly because I'm just a nervous person. But yeah, man, I try to like the whole secret. If it's not like in your family running like really bad, just stay away from the sugars, man. Stay away from the sugars. That's what if sugar, it's the worst, man. It's inflammatory, and
Well,
that's what the
that sucks. I'm
cells and
having a
all this shit
Coca-Cola right
goes.
now, dog.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
Paid, I followed you, by the way. Now fucking follow back.
Hey, Zach, and going back to the Super Bowl, because I want to say something about the Super Bowl, but I was getting to my doctor. The most amazing thing about the Super Bowl, other than the halftime show sucked, that Tom Brady just getting the flashbacks from that front four. If you guys know about football, from the days when he lost against the Giants both times, you could hear Brady talking for minutes about the front four, and that's when you realize the fucking Philly were gonna win, bro. They were just dominating too much.
The game, this, Mar. The game is always one up front, man.
Yeah,
It's all the flashy stuff, catching touchdowns, but the game is one up front.
Yeah,
And they dominated on both sides of the ball up front.
The second half, how it started with back-to-back Zach, I'm like, this is over. It's over. It's over. But yeah, man, I did not trade anything. And you are right, man. You know, all this shit is DeFi money, no matter how great it is, until you don't cash out or at least go to stable coins, you haven't made anything. And that's the bottom line. That's the truth, you know. The one thing I do want to say that I very like Mutasco. I think Mutasco is 400% completely against this, and also especially Larry. Man, when we heard that, just look. If you are holding stable coins, try to divide it into USDC, whatever whatever stable coins you can. Don't keep it on USDT. When we heard the meeting, they and I know that how do you call this? Will here is also against me. When I heard the meeting, all I heard was stablecoin, digital money, digital dollar, stablecoin. We don't know which directions these motherfuckers.
That's because you have to understand something, Mar. I got blessed. Okay, so once a month I get to go up to DC and I get to work on this for a week. Okay,
yeah.
And so I'm not against stables, but I know where their leverage is at. I can tell you something right now. If you don't think that the United States is going to stay with Tether, you guys need to go look at Tether's new upgraded Web3 website, because they've rolled out what their custodial assets are that is backed with Tether, and with them already pumping 100 million Tether into the U.S. market just last year alone.
No, 100%. That's why I'm like, don't hold everything on Tether. Try to hold.
Oh no, by no stretch. But yeah. USDC, you have to understand something. USDC, it was made by. I'm not saying it's by Vitalik, but it come out of the Ethereum rollout, right? And here's the thing: nobody knows where the EVMs are being housed for Ethereum right now. And everybody knew where our mining servers were at, right, for ETH, but nobody really knows where the EVM servers right now for your actual validators and stuff like that, and your proof of staking for ETH is right now. So if I'm gonna, Vitalik has to come clean about where he's put these at, and I'm saying they're in Russia. I'm gonna be real.
Well, I got a question for you about that.
I just want a bull run, okay? Well, all the
32.5
just give me a bull run.
32.5 BTC. We started a bull run, okay? And what is BTC at right now?
Around 96, 97, I think.
There you go. We're still in a bull run, brother. That's the
right
truth.
at the halving. I think it was 63. So, that's 50%.
And we've seen all-time highs this cycle so far.
The night Trump won, what were you like? We're 69K?
Yeah.
68K, something like that?
Yeah. And during the inauguration ball, we had what? I think we went up to like 107, 107K, yeah, we may have flexed down to like 99 or something like that. But man, we're in a perfect position. But think about this: people want a bull run, but how many people are actually housing blue chips in their wallet to where they can actually say, "Hey, look, I can go over here and buy me X amount of BTC right off the rip." If you can't do that, then what you're looking for is an alt, an alt season. And a lot of people don't even cash out with 7 figures on an alt run.
Well, it's weird for me. Bitcoin is, pretty volatile here lately. And I don't trade it, I always hold it. But it's like, damn, am I going to have to go back to trading this stuff?
Yeah, but
If I
that
can
was
work off
insider,
10.
and Zach and Larry were right. And I'm not defending Wintermute, okay, by any stretch. I know those guys. I've had a good relationship with them since they started Wintermute and stuff like that. I don't agree with some of the stuff that some of these ventures / market makers / whatever you want to call them do. Because you can only get so close to their circles, right? So unless I'm willing to go in there